There's one color hiding in many bedrooms that quietly works against the flow of abundance while you sleep. It covers the walls, the bedding, the furniture, and most people never realize the effect it may have on their emotional state, energy, and mindset. Ancient Jewish teachings often viewed the bedroom as far more than a place to rest. It was seen as a sacred personal sanctuary, a space where the soul disconnects from the noise of the world and reconnects with deeper spiritual energy. According to mystical traditions studied for centuries through the Zohar, Kabbalah, and rabbinic teachings, the environment surrounding a person during sleep can influence clarity, peace, and even one's ability to receive blessings in life. That is why many spiritual teachers warned against surrounding the bedroom with heavy, overly dark energy. One color in particular was believed to create emotional heaviness, spiritual stagnation, and a feeling of restriction that subtly affects the mind night after night. While modern people often choose colors based only on trends or aesthetics, ancient wisdom approached color as energy. Every shade carried a certain emotional and spiritual vibration that could either open a person toward peace and opportunity or weigh them down internally without them realizing it. For years, I've explored the connection between sacred Jewish wisdom and the spaces we live in, studying how ancient teachings viewed the home as an extension of the soul itself. What became clear is that the bedroom was considered one of the most spiritually important rooms in the house because sleep was viewed as a miniature spiritual journey. The Talmud describes sleep as 1/60th of death, meaning that each night the soul partially ascends, releases the burdens of the day, and returns renewed. The atmosphere around the sleeping body was believed to affect that process deeply. Many people who transformed the energy of their bedroom noticed unexpected changes in their lives afterward. They slept better, felt calmer, made clearer decisions, became more creative, and often found new financial opportunities appearing naturally. Not because the room itself magically created wealth, but because the emotional and mental heaviness blocking their focus and confidence was finally removed. Jewish mysticism connects colors with the Sephirot, the divine channels through which spiritual energy flows into physical reality. Certain colors were believed to create harmony, peace, openness, and blessing within the home. One of the most powerful among them is blue. In Kabbalistic thought, blue represents kindness, protection, mercy, and spiritual expansion. It reflects the color of the heavens and has long been associated with divine presence and protection against negative energy. Even the traditional prayer shawl contains blue threads as a reminder of spiritual connection and higher awareness. Modern science surprisingly echoes some of these ideas in its own way. Softer blue tones are known to calm the nervous system and create feelings of safety and relaxation. When a bedroom contains peaceful blue tones, the body often relaxes more deeply, allowing the mind to release fear and tension. People frequently report sleeping more peacefully and waking with greater clarity after introducing softer blues into their space. White is another color deeply connected to blessing and openness in Jewish tradition. Mystically, white represents purity, mercy, and infinite possibility because it contains all colors within it. A room built on light, soft white tones creates an atmosphere of spaciousness and renewal. Emotionally, bright spaces often make people feel lighter, calmer, and more mentally open, while dark, crowded environments can create subconscious pressure and emotional fatigue. Many individuals who lived for years, surrounded by deep, heavy colors, described constantly feeling drained without understanding why. Yet, after changing their rooms into lighter, cleaner spaces filled with soft whites and calming tones, they suddenly felt inspired again. Their creativity returned, motivation increased, and they approached opportunities differently. Sometimes the biggest shift is not external luck, but the removal of an invisible emotional weight. Warm gold and soft yellow tones were also viewed as powerful symbols of abundance, beauty, balance, and prosperity. In Kabbalistic symbolism, golden light reflects harmony between the spiritual and physical worlds. Gentle, warm lighting can transform a bedroom from feeling emotionally cold into feeling alive, welcoming, and abundant. It subtly reminds the subconscious mind of warmth, possibility, and expansion rather than lack or struggle. And now we come to the color many ancient teachers warned against using excessively in the bedroom: black. While black can appear elegant and modern, Jewish mystical traditions often associated excessive darkness with concealment, heaviness, restriction, and blocked spiritual flow. A room dominated by black absorbs light rather than reflecting it. Symbolically, it can create an atmosphere where energy feels closed instead of open. Emotionally, overly dark environments may increase feelings of stress, fatigue, isolation, or emotional pressure without people fully realizing it. This does not mean black is evil or forbidden. Small accents can still look beautiful and balanced. The warning was about allowing darkness to dominate the place where the mind and soul are meant to rest, restore, and reconnect. A bedroom filled entirely with dark walls, dark bedding, and heavy shadows can unconsciously signal scarcity, emotional tension, and limitation rather than openness and peace. The goal is not superstition. It is awareness. Your environment affects your nervous system, your thoughts, your emotions, and ultimately the way you move through life. When your bedroom feels peaceful, bright, protected, and emotionally open, you often begin showing up differently in every part of your life. You think more clearly, feel less burdened, make stronger decisions, and naturally become more receptive to opportunity. If you want to begin changing the energy of your room, start simply. Introduce softer blues into your bedding or curtains. Use white as a foundation to create lightness and openness. Add touches of warm gold lighting to create warmth and abundance. Most importantly, reduce excessive darkness and heaviness in the space where you sleep. Sometimes the shift you've been searching for does not begin outside of you at all. Sometimes it begins quietly, in the room where your soul rests each night. Rabbi David Torah Wisdom Path. In the teachings of Kabbalah, gold is connected to harmony, beauty, and balanced success. It reflects the energy of Tifereh, the center point on the tree of life, where kindness and discipline come into alignment. This is not the energy of fast success or temporary gain. It represents prosperity that feels stable, meaningful, and connected to a higher purpose. Gold carries the feeling of divine light becoming visible in the physical world. It's the glow of Sabbath candles, the warmth inside a peaceful home, and the quiet sense of fullness that comes when life feels spiritually and emotionally aligned. When soft golden light fills a bedroom, especially in the evening hours, it sends a powerful message to both the body and the mind. It creates an atmosphere of comfort, security, and abundance rather than stress and lack. Ancient Jewish wisdom understood this long before modern science began studying the effects of light on the nervous system. Today, research shows that warm lighting, especially around 2700 Kelvin, helps the brain naturally produce melatonin, the hormone responsible for restful sleep and recovery. On the other hand, harsh white or cool-toned lighting keeps the brain alert and overstimulated, making it harder for the body to truly rest. I once spoke with a couple who had filled their entire home with bright white LED lights because they believed it looked modern and elegant. But despite the clean appearance, they constantly woke up exhausted and mentally drained. Their business was struggling, tension was growing, and they felt emotionally disconnected from peace. Eventually, they replaced the cool lighting in their bedroom with soft, warm bulbs and placed small golden lamps beside the bed. The change was immediate. Their sleep became deeper, mornings felt lighter, and within a few months, they secured the biggest opportunity their business had ever received. Part of that transformation came from better rest, but there was also something deeper happening. Their environment stopped communicating pressure and started communicating balance. When you surround yourself with warm, golden tones before sleep, your entire system begins shifting away from survival mode and toward grounded confidence. You stop vibrating with exhaustion and constant struggle, and instead move into a calmer state where clarity and sustainable success can grow naturally. A simple step can make a huge difference. Replace harsh bedroom lighting with warm white bulbs and allow a soft golden light to fill the room during the final moments before sleep. Let your mind close the day in peace instead of overstimulation. Another color strongly connected to renewal and forward movement is green. In Kabbalistic thought, green also relates to Tifereh, but through the energy of growth, healing, and continuous expansion. It reflects nature, springtime, and the unstoppable force of life pushing forward even after long periods of darkness. Jewish wisdom teaches that growth is built into creation itself. No matter how difficult a season may feel, life is always trying to move toward renewal. Green symbolizes that living momentum. Bringing green into your bedroom creates a quiet reminder that your life is still growing, even when progress feels invisible. This can be done through plants, soft green fabrics, artwork, or small natural elements placed around the room. Modern psychology supports this idea as well. Studies have shown that plants inside living spaces can reduce stress, improve emotional well-being, and create a stronger sense of calm and connection. I remember someone whose bedroom felt completely lifeless. The room was dark, plain, and purely functional with no signs of warmth or life. Over time, he began feeling emotionally stuck in almost every area of his world. His career stopped progressing, his health declined, and his motivation disappeared. One day, almost randomly, he placed a small snake plant beside his bed. It seemed insignificant at first, but he later explained that seeing something alive and growing every morning slowly changed the way he viewed himself. That small shift affected his mindset. He started exercising again, regained confidence, and finally applied for a new opportunity he had avoided for years. A short time later, he got the position. Sometimes growth begins with the smallest visible sign of life. If you want to invite that energy into your own space, bring in one simple living plant. It doesn't have to be complicated or difficult to care for. Let it become a symbol of quiet progress and steady transformation happening beneath the surface of your life. Now take a moment and truly look around your bedroom. Is there softness and peace there? Is there openness, warmth, and life? Do you see calming blues, clean whites, golden light, or touches of green growth? Or does the room feel heavy, dark, emotionally closed, and draining? Many people never realize how deeply their environment affects their inner state until they finally change it. If your room already includes these lighter and more balanced energies, you are already creating a healthier environment than most people ever think about. You are building a space where the nervous system can finally relax, where the mind can become clear, and where the soul can rest without emotional weight pressing down on it. But there is still one color that ancient Jewish wisdom warned should never dominate the bedroom, because even with all the other positive elements present, this one shade can quietly overpower the entire atmosphere and block the sense of peace, openness, and abundance the room is meant to hold. Rabbi David Torah Wisdom Path. Modern design trends often celebrate one particular color because it looks elegant, sleek, and sophisticated in photographs. Minimalist homes use it everywhere. Luxury bedrooms are built around it, and people associate it with power and style. But according to deep Kabbalistic teachings, that same color can create the exact opposite atmosphere of what the soul truly needs during sleep. This is not about fear or superstition. The idea comes from ancient Jewish mystical teachings about light, energy, and emotional balance. And interestingly, modern psychology and neuroscience point towards similar conclusions in their own way. In Kabbalah, colors are seen as channels of spiritual energy. Blue reflects kindness and peace. White symbolizes mercy, openness, and possibility. Gold represents harmony, balance, and healthy success. But black carries a very different kind of energy when it becomes excessive, especially in the bedroom. Spiritually, black is associated with concealment, restriction, heaviness, and the absence of reflected light. Unlike other colors, black absorbs everything and gives nothing back. In mystical symbolism, it can represent a state where flow becomes blocked and energy feels closed off. Psychologically, dark environments can keep the brain subtly alert because the human nervous system has always linked darkness with uncertainty and hidden danger. Even when a person believes they are resting, the body may still remain in a mild state of tension. Now, black itself is not evil. In Jewish tradition, black also carries sacred meanings in certain settings. The ink used to write Torah scrolls is black because it represents wisdom being revealed through letters and form. Black clothing has also been connected to humility, discipline, and seriousness. In some mystical ideas, darkness even symbolizes the hidden place from which creation itself emerges. But the bedroom serves a different purpose. It is meant to be a place of restoration, openness, peace, and renewal. When a bedroom becomes dominated by black walls, black furniture, black curtains, and black bedding, the entire atmosphere can begin to feel emotionally heavy and spiritually closed. Instead of creating a sense of openness, the room starts communicating restriction and emotional pressure. Symbolically, it becomes a space that absorbs rather than reflects. According to Kabbalistic thought, this mirrors an unbalanced form of Gevurah, the energy of strictness and limitation without the balancing presence of kindness and mercy. Boundaries and discipline are important, but without warmth and openness, they can slowly become emotionally exhausting. Over time, a person surrounded by this kind of heavy environment may begin internalizing that energy without realizing it. They feel constantly drained, mentally foggy, anxious, uninspired, or stuck. Opportunities appear farther away. Motivation weakens. Creativity fades. Eventually, the subconscious begins accepting limitation as normal. Not because abundance disappeared, but because the environment keeps reinforcing emotional contraction instead of possibility. There is also a neurological side to this. The brain constantly scans the environment for signals of safety or stress, especially during sleep. When a room is overwhelmingly dark, the amygdala, the brain's threat detection system, can remain partially active. Deep rest becomes harder to achieve. The parasympathetic nervous system, which allows healing, restoration, and full relaxation, struggles to fully engage. A person may spend 8 hours in bed and still wake up exhausted, emotionally tense, and mentally scattered. Over time, this affects decision-making, resilience, confidence, and the ability to recognize opportunities clearly. I once heard from a woman who had designed her bedroom entirely in black because she loved the luxurious modern look. Black walls, black bedding, black curtains, almost every detail carried the same heavy tone. Yet during those years, she constantly felt anxious, tired, emotionally overwhelmed, and financially stuck, despite working harder than ever. Eventually, she changed the room completely. She painted the walls in soft white, introduced blue bedding, added warmer lighting, and softened the entire atmosphere. She described the shift as immediate. Her sleep improved within days. A mental heaviness lifted. Within a few months, her financial situation began improving rapidly, not because she suddenly became someone new, but because she finally felt clear, energized, and emotionally awake again. If your bedroom currently contains a lot of black, this does not mean something is wrong with you. It does not mean you are cursed, unlucky, or being punished. Most people simply never realize how deeply their environment shapes their emotional and mental state. But once you become aware of it, you have the power to change it. The good news is that you do not need to spend a fortune or completely redesign your entire home overnight. Small, intentional changes can begin shifting the energy of the space almost immediately. Start with the bed itself, because that is the center of the room and the place where your body fully relaxes each night. If your bedding is mostly black, begin replacing parts of it gradually. Introduce soft blue pillowcases, blue duvet covers, or white sheets underneath. Even changing the pillowcases can make a noticeable emotional difference because that is the fabric touching your skin and surrounding your senses as you fall asleep. If you have a black bed frame or dark furniture you cannot replace yet, soften it visually. Add lighter blankets, cream-colored cushions, or softer neutral tones to reduce the heaviness. The goal is not to eliminate black completely, but to stop allowing it to dominate the room's emotional atmosphere. Next, pay attention to your curtains and lighting. Many people use heavy black curtains to block light completely, but softer alternatives can create darkness without creating emotional weight. Cream, soft gray, or layered lighter curtains can still provide privacy and restful sleep while keeping the room feeling more open and breathable. Lighting matters deeply as well. Replace harsh white bulbs with warm white lighting, ideally around 2700 Kelvin. Use lamps that create a gentle golden glow in the evening rather than cold, bright light. Let that warmth become part of your nighttime routine. Finally, bring in life through green plants or natural elements. Even one small living plant can shift the emotional feeling of the room and remind your mind that growth is still happening. White should remain the foundation whenever possible because it creates openness, spaciousness, and emotional clarity. Even if you cannot repaint walls, introducing white bedding, lighter fabrics, or brighter accents can help transform the environment. When you make these changes, you are doing more than decorating. You are changing the emotional and energetic atmosphere of the place where you spend 1/3 of your life. You are replacing heaviness with openness, tension with calm, and emotional blockage with flow. You are creating a space that quietly tells your mind, your body, and your spirit, I am open to peace, clarity, growth, and abundance. Rabbi David Torah Wisdom Path. You do not need to completely redesign your bedroom overnight to begin changing the energy around you. Real transformation often starts with one intentional step. Buy a set of soft blue pillowcases. Replace one harsh light bulb with a warm white one. Bring a small living plant into the room. These are simple changes, but they send a powerful signal to your mind, your body, and your environment that something new is beginning. Most people spend hundreds or thousands of dollars trying to fix stress, exhaustion, lack of focus, or emotional heaviness without ever considering the space they sleep in every night. Yet, with a very small investment, you can completely shift the feeling of your room and begin creating an atmosphere that supports rest, clarity, and emotional balance instead of quietly draining you while you sleep. The real question is not whether you can afford to make these changes. The real question is whether you are willing to stop surrounding yourself with an environment that works against you night after night without you even realizing it. And if you want to go deeper into this understanding, not just about bedrooms, but about the broader way Jewish wisdom approaches wealth, prosperity, energy, and spiritual alignment, I created a resource called 15 Jewish Wealth Codes, Enrichment Strategies of the Jewish People. You'll find it linked in the pinned comment below. It explores the mindset shifts, spiritual principles, and timeless practices connected to building lasting abundance rather than constantly struggling in cycles of stress and limitation. What we discussed here today is only one small part of a much larger picture. Before this message ends, I want to leave you with one final idea from Jewish wisdom that has stayed with me for years. There is a concept called tikkun, which means repair or restoration. It teaches that life is not permanently broken. Often, there are simply areas where the flow of light, peace, or blessing has become blocked, and our responsibility is to recognize those places and remove the barriers. This is not just about decorating a room or following design trends. It is about respecting the sacredness of your own existence. Think about it. You spend nearly 1/3 of your entire life inside that space. The energy surrounding you there is either helping you heal, grow, and restore yourself, or quietly pulling energy away from you over time. There is no truly neutral environment. Your bedroom can either become a place that keeps you emotionally trapped or a place that supports peace, restoration, creativity, and growth. It can either absorb your energy or help renew it. The choice belongs to you. So tonight, make one change. Remove some of the heaviness. Bring in softness. Add the blue. Turn on the warm golden light. Introduce something living and green. Create a space where your mind can finally rest, your body can recover, and your soul can breathe freely again. And watch what begins to change when the environment around you finally supports the life you are trying to build. Rabbi David Torah Wisdom Path. True abundance begins the moment you stop living in environments that quietly drain your spirit and start creating spaces that restore your peace, clarity, and strength. Your bedroom is more than a place to sleep. It is the atmosphere your mind, body, and soul absorb every single night. When you replace heaviness with light, balance, warmth, and life, you open yourself to deeper rest, clearer thinking, and greater opportunity. Sometimes the blessings you've been searching for were never far away. They were simply waiting for you to remove what was blocking them.